Good morning, Wichita. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to the Wichita Business Community Call. We are going live on Facebook, so just a heads up. Excited to be with you today. This is our third Wichita Business Community Call. We're here to bring the Wichita business community together and help navigate through the crazy times we have right now. By the way, give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. All right, sweet. At any time, unmute yourselves if you guys want to jump in and join in on the conversation. If you're on Facebook and want to ask any questions, please do so. We'll try to get to your questions. But again, this is our third community call. We're here to bring the Wichita business community together. And we're really, really excited that we could bring everyone together and really bring to you guys the resources that I know that you guys need and help provide some guidance in this tough time. A lot of businesses are struggling right now. Even people, especially people that don't have businesses that, are getting laid off and all that, are really having a tough time. And so I'm really fortunate that, we could put this group together to help navigate things in your businesses that we can help with. Because right now is a really crucial time. I not only want you guys to survive right now, but I want you to thrive. The next month to 3 months to 6 months could be really tough. But if you guys make some really key decisions in your business, I feel like you can get through it unscathed, and a lot of opportunities will come out of it. So today we have a couple of great people on the call. We have Sarah Haymaker with the SBA. That's going to come on here in a little bit and give us some updates on some SBA loans. And then we have Hexcode Design, Marisa, VanSkyver, and Chrissy. Thanks for joining us and agreeing to give some marketing knowledge to our group. Right now, people are having to shift their marketing and be smarter with it. And so Marisa and Chrissy will drop some great knowledge on you guys, and you guys can ask some questions, and we'll do a little Q&A with them. I want you guys to give a shout out for your businesses. So I want to see who's here. Type in the name of your business. If you want to put your website in it, that's cool. There's a little chat box down below. If you want to hit the chat button, just put your business name. And if you want to put your website in there, that's cool. So you guys can see who's in the group and connect with each other. Everything I do is very interactive, so I'd love for you guys to ask questions and to unmute yourselves later when we start having a conversation, and just jump in where needed. So Pat with Design Home Gallery, welcome. Sandy Free with Devoted Bookkeeping. Luke Neal with Let's Roll Mobile Detailing. Pacific Workplaces. Shelly with Anti-Aging and Wellness. Neora is the name of the company. Welcome back, Fabrice with Simplify My Numbers Accounting. Of course, Chrissy with Hexcode. Mark with TaylorMade Roofing. Sorry if I missed some people here. I'm scrolling through. Kim with Joy Organics. Catherine with Farmers Insurance. Of course, everyone knows Ed with Trade Bank. Chevis with the Chamber, Eric with OxyFresh. Awesome. Got a bunch of names in here. You guys can scroll through and see who's here and connect with who you need to connect with, because that's part of what we do, is connect you guys to resources. So hopefully there's someone here in this room that can help you out. So 4 things that I want you guys to get out of this call, as I've mentioned before. Tips from what other people are doing. So there's going to be some things that are shared of what other people are doing that can help you in your business. There'll be some tools and resources shared that you can utilize in your business. There's going to be a lot of opportunities that we can talk about. A lot of opportunities with the loans that are out there. A lot of opportunities with changing your marketing messages and being unique and getting out in front of this online world that's being created. Things are changing. Things are going to be so much different when we get out of this. And actually, they're so much different now. So I'm looking forward to the changes. I hope you guys are too, because again, that creates a lot of opportunity. Anytime there's a shakeup in the market, if you can figure out how to ride the wave and get in front of it, a lot of other people won't know how to do that. And you guys can rise to the top and be the leaders in your business. because a lot of people in your industry are going to go away. So that's the opportunity for you guys to shine and be at the top of your field, as well as find some people that no longer have jobs that are great people. They just couldn't, their businesses couldn't stay alive. So you guys can partner with those people, snatch them up, and hire them, and have them help you grow your business. So just a little more housekeeping. We do prefer video. If you could put your video on, that'd be great. Most of you guys have your video on. That's awesome. Good to see your faces. And again, we will be recording this. This is on Facebook Live. So we want you to be as vulnerable as possible. But if there's something you don't want to share publicly, obviously that's up to you. But, you know, that's part of actually why we're here, is that, you know, I just want to share kind of my journey and where I've been. So last 19 years, I've been an entrepreneur. I started Professional Home Buyers 19 years ago, just opened up Strategic Workspace a couple months ago. And Strategic Workspace is not only co-working community, but we wanted it to be a place where entrepreneurs could come to get help, to network, have a creative environment to work, to meet great people. And a lot of it stemmed from my struggles in business. I didn't have a lot of help the first 10 years in my business, and I struggled immensely, and I just put my head down. I worked hard, and I just wasn't happy, and I wasn't getting the results I wanted. There was some success with it, you know, all that. I was working 80 hours a week, just wasn't quite where I wanted to be. Ended up hiring a coach and getting help, and being a part of mastermind groups. And so evolving, you know, long story short, evolving into the workspace, that's what I really wanted to create, was a community where people could come, they could work with each other, they could be around like-minded entrepreneurs, they could join mastermind groups, they could get some coaching help, which we'll roll out some coaching probably later this year. And so that's why we're here today. That's my mission right now, is just to help entrepreneurs to go, you know, I want to say go through the journey I went through, but basically take away some of the struggles that I had in my business and get to where it's a more manageable 40 hours a week or less. I've got great people working for me that run the business from a day-to-day aspect, and I can work on the things that I love doing, like this. And so that is really my journey and why we are here. And I know some of you guys are just trying to stay afloat right now. I totally understand that. But again, my goal is to help you thrive through this. So hopefully with the tools and resources that I provide with you on these calls, or anything else that you guys become a part of what I do, I'd love to continue to support you and get you guys to that next level. So with that being said, a lot of great businesses in the group. Look forward to reading through those and connecting with some of you guys offline. So let's roll into it. I'm going to see, Sarah said she might be late. Let me see if she's in the group here. Sarah Haymaker, she is not quite in the chat yet, or in the group. She had another call. She's super busy. As you guys know, one of the loan programs is rolling out today that you can apply for. So we're going to jump into that with her later today. A lot of changes since the last call, and even the last 24 to 48 hours, there have been some changes with the SBA program. So,
Hi, Tony.
Yep.
This is Christy Henry. I'm with SBA as well. I'll let Sarah address it when she jumps on, but if you guys have questions in the meantime, I'll try to answer.
Cool. Thanks, Christy. I appreciate it. I was going to have you guys first, and then Marisa and Chrissy on the last part of the call, but I'll go ahead and jump in with Chrissy and Marisa, and then we can do the SBA towards the end. Actually, Sarah is on the call.
I am. I just got on. I was running late on a manufacturer's call.
All right. Perfect timing. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
All right. Sarah's been an unbelievable resource for this group and some of the other groups and some of the other people offline. She's with the SBA. There are some loan programs that have rolled out in the last few weeks because of the crisis. I've got some pretty good knowledge on the loan programs, and I have some questions that some other people have asked me that I'll probably throw out here in a little bit. But Sarah, give us an update. I think probably the biggest thing that people are looking at are two things. One is there's a $10,000 advance out there in the disaster relief program that you can
Yes.
apply for. And then the second one, for those who have payroll, there is basically some potentially free money that can be had there. And that's the program that's rolling out today that, from what I understand, will probably run out of money pretty quickly. So people need to jump on it. So I'll let you jump into that and kind of explain that a little bit further and let us know what's going on your end.
Okay, so I'll just give you guys kind of an update of what's happened since we met last Friday, and then even some things that changed, Tony, since I emailed you. So I emailed you that it was a 0.5% interest on the Paycheck Protection, and that changed yesterday. If you watched the White House press conference yesterday evening when Secretary Mnuchin was on, he said it's now 1%. So that did change last night. Also, the interim final rule for the Paycheck Protection Program was released last night. And so we've been coming, it's not very big. Everybody can get it and take a look at it for themselves. I think it's 32 pages. But it's providing some of the clarification that we've needed for a little while. So I'm pulling up. So where we are, so when the CARES Act was signed last Friday, so what that enabled was, first of all, the $10,000 advance on the economic injury loans. So for anybody that applied for economic injury loans prior to Monday of this week, will now have to reapply essentially to get the advance. It doesn't affect your initial application that you made. That's still in the process. But again, those take longer. And so what this effort is to try to get money in folks' hands right away. I will tell you that the goal is to have that advance to people within 3 days of their application. The first applications were taken on Monday. All I've heard, of course, is from people that haven't gotten their advance yet. So I'm not sure. We're expecting to have some numbers later about how many applications have been submitted and how much has been going out the door. So we say it as little as 3 days. I know some promises have been made, but really that's not something that's within my control, or even maybe with the processor's control. So it's there. You do have to reapply.
And Sarah, something you emailed to me yesterday or the day before, whenever that was, it was
Mhm.
interesting. That $10,000 advance, that is forgivable. Is that correct?
That's right. So even if you make your application for the economic injury, you ask for that advance, and it's up to $10,000. So let's say you get the full $10,000 amount, but then for whatever reason you're later declined to get the full loan, that $10,000 is still forgivable. Now, for folks that do that advance and then also go and get a Paycheck Protection Program loan, which became available today. So for the people that do the PPP, that up to $10,000 advance that you got on the economic injury, that will be forgiven through the PPP, and so that reduces your forgivable amount in the Paycheck Protection Program loan. So if you had $10,000 for economic injury, you end up with a $75,000 loan for Paycheck Protection. The amount of that Paycheck Protection loan that will be forgivable becomes $65,000.
Fantastic.
So again, I'll just give you a quick, just as a reminder, that the economic injury loan is for up to $2 million. It is for essentially working capital expenses, and that could include payroll, but I do want to caution you, and I see that Fabrice is on, and he probably will too, is that you need to be sure that you are using your paycheck. If you get a Paycheck Protection Program loan, you need to be sure you're using that for the forgivable expenses, which is going to be primarily payroll. Use that first to make sure you get as much of that forgiven as you possibly can. The economic injury, it is a 30-year loan, no matter how much it's for. It's 12 months deferred payments. Interest begins accruing on the day it's dispersed. There is no lender. That comes straight from SBA, and you apply online at sba.gov/disaster. I will tell you that up to $25,000, that's an unsecured loan. Anything greater will require collateral, but we'll take what we can get. We're not going to turn something down for no collateral or under collateralized. There will be no personal guarantee required on those for loans up to $200,000. And just keep in mind, these are for your fixed costs. These are your monthly operating expenses. This is not to replace your lost sales. This also can help replace lost rent income for commercial and real estate investors. So, and we're expecting 3 to 6 weeks on disbursement on those. I know people have gotten them. I know people have been waiting. That's what it is. So,
are there Q&A later or now?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you having a Q&A later, or is it Q&A as you go?
I can do it as we go. However, Tony wants to do it.
Tony, how do you want to do it?
Well, you already started it, Eric, so we may as well.
Well, I was just asking. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just playing with you, Eric.
I have one question now at the end of it. I might have 15. So
no, go ahead, jump on it, Eric.
Well, when you say the funds must be used for the acceptable reasons, namely payroll, physically, how is this going to happen? Because to me, when they fund me, it goes into my bank account, and then I'm paying payroll out of my bank account and all the other expenses. How are they going to know where the funds are going if the funds are staying within the business, right? I guess physically, how would that be tracked?
So what we're going to ask for at the end, what you're going to actually provide, your lender's going to ask for, is the records and documentation that, because you're going to have to request that loan to be forgiven. It's not going to happen automatically. You're going to have to go to the lender and request it, and they're going to ask you for your documentation. So,
and that's after 8 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
So, well, it's like 8.5, something like that.
Sorry to interrupt. That 8 weeks, does that have to?
Sorry, was that Cole? You're cutting out there. I think you froze up.
Buffering.
Hey, Sarah, Mark Shook here.
Yeah.
I missed the changes that you spoke about at the very beginning. Can you, A, explain those changes again, and B, how and when are we able to apply? I think I missed that piece of it.
So the change I mentioned is that you can now apply for an advance on an economic injury loan of up to $10,000. But you'll have to, if you applied before Monday, March 30th, you'll have to reapply again to qualify for that advance, because it was not available until the act was signed on Friday. I caught
that piece. I was wondering more about the payroll protection program.
The change that is the interest rate. So when it was initially announced earlier in the week, they said it would be 0.5% interest, and yesterday they changed that to 1%.
Okay. I mean, are we able to apply?
Yes, you can apply now. So I say that many small businesses can apply now. Self-employed, and let me look and make sure I get this right. Self-employed and independent contractors can't apply until next Friday. So we're still working on rules.
Is there anywhere in particular that we should? I've been hearing all kinds of things about where people are having to apply at a certain bank, or you can only apply if you have an account with a certain bank or with that bank. Is there any rules on that, or is there any ways or to make it quicker, I guess? So
we are having a lot of struggles right now getting all of the banks their access to the system to submit the loans. It's a nationwide problem. Banks that do SBA loans on a regular basis are able to process those right now. However, I would say 80+% of the banks in Kansas have SBA agreements. They're just having trouble accessing the system. So my advice to everyone has been, go to whoever you bank with now and find out if they're taking the applications and if they're going to. More than likely they are. Where we're struggling is getting everybody into the system at the same time. So there's no rule. They just have to be approved by SBA, and just about everybody will be if they choose to participate.
Hey, Mark, let me know if you need a contact. I've got a bank that I'm going through that I can connect you with if you like to.
Yeah, if you could shoot that to me, that'd be great. My bank, Credit Union of America, does not do anything with SBA, and
So just FYI, Credit Union of America has requested the access.
okay, but it may be a while till I get it, I'm sure.
Mark, I just got an
Possibly.
email from Emprise Bank where I bank, and they're having a meeting today to try to figure out more of the details. And she said she'd be getting back with me later this afternoon with a better update. So that was
Okay.
and that was that. You had my question, which is it better for us just to go straight to SBA.gov or go through our bank?
You have to go through a bank.
You
right,
have
Sarah?
to go through your
You
bank.
have to go
Yeah.
through a bank. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's where Emprise Bank is now. I'm assuming the other banks are in a similar holding pattern.
Yeah, and I will tell you too
PPP?
that some banks are waiting until Monday just because, like I said, the rule came out last night. So, some of the banks have just said straight up, we're waiting until Monday to start taking applications.
Yeah.
All right. So Cole, who cut off, he said, "Does it matter what 8 weeks you use use it for payroll? Can I start January 1 and go through August 1st, for instance?"
June 1 through August 1st, as I'm a seasonal business, or is it only impacted as of right now?
Great question.
That is a good question. And
Sarah, my
I don't-
understanding
go ahead.
was that it was 8 weeks from the date of the origination of the loan.
That's
So if
my
you were to
understanding too.
If
Yeah,
you
I'm
were to
thinking
receive
so
it by
too.
April 30th, the clock starts at that point.
That's my current understanding.
And that is only for PPP?
Yes.
Okay, so my
Let me,
EIDL loan is separate from that.
correct.
But you wouldn't want to wait to contact a bank and start the process for the PPP, correct? I mean, I'm assuming.
Well, Cole, what you might do is go ahead and apply for it. And if you can get approved, I don't know, Sarah, does the funding need to happen right away, or could Cole go ahead and get it June 1st when he's going to need the funds?
So I'm going to say, and Christy on my team is on here. Chris, if you want to chime in, but because they're expecting it to be oversubscribed, my concern would be the funding wouldn't be available, or we would be waiting for more money from Congress at that point. So
I guess that is a good question there too, Sarah. I think a lot of people, from what I understand or what I've seen, is that the funds are not going to last very long because there's so many businesses that are going to apply for this. Do you feel like do you have an idea when the funding could run out and when or if there could be a second round?
So the second round issue would be, and I believe what Secretary Mnuchin said yesterday is that if we run out of money, he's going to go back to Congress and ask for more. So I can only go by what he said in the press conference yesterday. As far as knowing, I mean, the loans are capped at $10 million. But again, there's only $349 billion. Now, most people are not going to need that $10 million. It's for 8 weeks of payroll is all you can get, 2.5 times your monthly payroll. So I can't really predict, but I mean, I don't think it's going to run out tomorrow or in the next couple weeks. But in any case, so I've got this question down, Cole, and so I'm going to see what options somebody has that's a seasonal. It doesn't need it quite yet.
Thank you.
Hey,
All
Sarah,
right.
I have a question. I have a client who's asking me, she's a spa, so she has to actually close her doors. If she brought back her employees, can she bring them back and do just other miscellaneous things and still pay them if she went for the PPP?
So it's my understanding that they don't actually have to be doing anything. They just need to be earning a paycheck.
Okay.
And so I think that maybe that would be, and I wish the lady that was from labor I was on with a minute ago was on this. I don't have any understanding that they wouldn't need to be on anything other than leave and being paid for it.
And from what I understand, you can bring people on that you already let go, correct? As long as
that is correct.
You can prove the payroll from 12 months previous.
Right. What you've got is until if you let somebody go in the last, I'm looking to see what the dates are. I'm so sorry. My child is having a major a major
I think it's
meltdown.
February 15th, I think.
Well, you've got, so any staffing changes you made between February 15th and April the 26th, you've got until June 30th to restore those FTEs and salary levels. So one of the things too, it's not just about maintaining the number of FTEs you have. The other part of it too, to qualify for forgiveness, is you cannot reduce their pay by more than 25%. So keep that in mind too. So, but you've got, for any kind of changes that you've had to make in the last month, because of this, you've got until June 30th to restore those number of FTEs, as well as restore their salary if you cut them more than 25%.
Very good. Another question someone had, and I even had this question. So if you have multiple businesses, the $10,000 advance, can you do a $10,000 advance for each business, or is it just for one person for one business?
So it gets a little tricky, and Chrissy, chime in if you have something, but it's, the applicant is the business, not you as the individual person, if that makes sense. I mean, unless you're a sole proprietor or unless you're a self-employed kind of a situation. So it's going to depend on if you have multiple business entities, it's going to depend on how that's structured. Are they affiliated? Are they, and I believe that even now that they're starting to waive some of the affiliation rules. For instance, on PPP, they've waived some things on affiliation with like franchises or hotels and things like that. So things are changing a little bit as we go. So the $10,000 advance is for the business. It's not for you as the individual person. So if you had two different businesses, yes, both of them, theoretically, both of them can get those 10,000, depending on how you're structured.
Awesome. Fantastic. Another question in the chat box. What recommendations might you have for independent contractors, sole proprietors with no employees? I know that's not open till next week, so there is a leeway period there. Is money being held back for those independent contractors since they can't apply till later, or is it all being treated as one?
I have no information about how they are allocating those funds. So what I can tell you is that initially, so here's what it is initially, is the money's coming from your bank. And then SBA is going to get that money back to the banks, if that makes sense. So as far as a specific amount being held aside for anybody, I have no knowledge of how they're kind of divvying that up. I will say that according to what's in the interim final rule now, for independent contractors and sole proprietors, we're still going to be looking at wages and commissions, income or similar compensation. So I've been getting a lot of questions about, I don't take a paycheck, I do a draw. I take money when it's available. So those are the things, and that's why this is not available for those folks until next Friday, because again, we still have to work that out on how we're going to calculate it and get that money to those folks.
All right, cool. Mitch on Facebook had a question. We have a small backlog, thankfully, but we could get shut down anytime. We've already had one commercial job get canceled. Is it better to apply now to get the approval going, or wait until it actually gets shut down? Did you get that, Sarah?
I did. So on economic injury, I would apply now. Paycheck protection, we're going to need a little more. We're going to need to know that's the same kind of question that we got from Cole, is on, does the funding need to start right away, like with seasonal workers? So, but on an economic injury, yes, apply now. You don't have to take the disbursement on that now. You don't even have to take it at all if you end up not needing it. So on economic injury, yes, apply now, even if you don't necessarily need it at this moment. And then we've got to learn more on paycheck protection, because I think, like Fabrice said, is that you're going to have to take it and immediately start that 8-week time clock of payroll starts when you take it. So I don't know that we're going to get anything different on that, but we'll certainly stay with it to find out.
Yeah, I think it's better to apply than and cancel it later than to not apply and then realize you're in the back of the line and need it, right? Cool. So if we reapplied to the advance on Monday and heard nothing, how long should we wait before we call on it? And is there a way to check the status of your application?
The only way, sadly, the only way to check it is to call the 1-800 number or email. Honestly, as far as the advance, I mean, it just became available on Monday. I'm sure that it is overwhelmed and they're trying to get all that money out. If you don't hear something by Monday, then call or email. And I'm not able while we're doing this to monitor my emails to see what's coming through on what do we know on status of processing advances. But again, I know that there were some commitments made to do those in as little as 3 days. So those should be happening just anytime. If you have not heard by Monday, please let me know first. There's not anything that I can do necessarily for you as an individual, but I need to get that elevated and know how many it's affecting. Because this was supposed to be out within, like 3 to 5 days. So let me know, and then you need to call the customer service number or email them.
Hey,
All right,
Sarah, can churches do the 10,000?
Yes, but it has to be for secular activities for the church.
All right, cool. Type any other questions you have or chime in. I'm just going to give a big overview again for those that maybe don't understand it. So there are a few different things. So the first thing is...
Tony, I have a question.
Is this a meeting?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Who fucking cares about this shit, Tony? Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
So, what's the word today?
I have a question. Sir, I have a question. What's up, my boy?
Okay, I'm going to mute
This
everybody.
is jobs. I want to know.
We're being...
Yo, Tony, you can't do that, bro. You can't do that.
You guys,
Okay, guys.
you guys are
Oh, you can't do that, Tony.
not.
That's not possible.
I'm a fag, nigga. Fuck.
Okay, Sarah, I'm going to unmute you. That is really weird.
Oh, we got trolled.
Yep. Let me see if I can remove them. That's a little freaky. Can you hear me, Sarah?
I can.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We are good. So if you guys have a question, put it in the chat box. I don't know about you guys, but that was a little freaky. Let's see. All right. Ignore the chat box, guys. So, all right, Sarah, go ahead. Or actually, I was talking, I think.
You were, yes.
Okay, sorry. A little shaken up there, a little freaky. I didn't know what was going on there. So anyway, a couple of main things to understand is that there is the economic injury loan, which you can apply for a $10,000 advance. And on top of that, there's a loan with it. So from what I understand, the loan is, the $10,000 advance is forgiven. And then you've got the payroll protection, which is different, and you can apply for 2.5 times your average payroll. And after 8 weeks, if you keep everybody on your payroll, that is forgiven. Is there something I'm missing there, Sarah? I know there's a lot of little intricate details, but I think those are the two main things you can apply for.
Yeah, that's right. Those are the two biggest ones. And then again, it's just going to be, I mean, this is going to a good exercise in record keeping to make sure that you are certain to use your Paycheck Protection Program funds first to qualify for that up to, the 100% forgiveness of the principal amount. So you may need a bookkeeper. You may need, someone to help you with that. I had somebody recommend to me yesterday about getting separate bank accounts for each of these funds to make sure you're keeping it straight. So, but yeah, that's the major things. Apply for economic injury now. Talk to your local bank about the paycheck protection.
All right, cool. I am going to get rid of some people here. This is not cool. You're gone. You're gone. Actually, sorry, I'm going to remove some of these people that are not supposed to be in here. Sarah, if you want to go ahead and continue, is there anything else you want to add? If anybody has a question, raise your hand and I will try to find you out of all these crazy people that jumped on here. Or just put it in the chat box, and Sarah, if you can scroll through there and see if you
and try
can.
to see some. Okay. And then while I'm doing that, I'll just share with you, for those of you that that may be in a growth phase, actually, that, because of this, you have one of those critical businesses that you actually may see some growth from this. There is another part of CARES Act that we're not talking about that much because it's, everybody's concerned about having paychecks and meeting their monthly obligations. But if you do happen to be in a growth phase, the regular 7A program has been given some authorities as part of that it's called small business debt relief. So the first thing I would tell you, if you already had an SBA loan, then you're starting with your very next payment that's due. The bank has been advised to defer all of your payments for 6 months, and SBA is paying on your behalf to the bank the principal, interest, and any fees to the lender. So you won't be paying that for 6 months. We're going to make that payment on your loan for you to the lender. The same will be applied to any new loans that are issued between now, or I guess it was March 27th and September the 27th. So if you are in a period where you're looking to grow and get a regular SBA loan, and that's for 7A, 504, and our microloans, you will still get to take advantage of that 6 months deferred, and SBA will make that payment for you.
All right, cool. I'm going to try and just close the chat for now. Kelsey Shackelford, I made you a co-host, so if you see anybody that needs to be removed, if you could please help me remove people off of here, that would be fantastic. And actually, even though I closed the chat, it's still open. If you can see anybody on the chat, Kelsey, that needs to be removed, if you don't mind helping out. And actually, Tina, I'm going to try and make you a co-host as well so you can help screen that as well. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize I needed to close this.
I'm working on it.
All right, cool. Tina, you are a co-host. And I might just add a co-host for a couple other people if they don't mind helping out. Eric, if you see anybody on there, you can help remove. And actually, Marisa and Chrissy are going to be up soon, so I'll just go ahead and make them co-hosts as well so they can help out if they see anybody. All right, cool. Okay, chat is still open. There's still some people putting some stuff in there that they shouldn't be. Let's see. No Facebook Live, one more live questions. Anybody else have questions? Raise your hand if you have a question. Fabrice, I will unmute you, my friend. All right. Oh, there you go. Fabrice, what's going on, buddy?
Yes, Sarah. My question was one of my clients is an LLC, so it's a partnership. They have about 5 partners that take guaranteed payments as opposed to W-2 wages or draws. So I wasn't sure exactly how to advise them in terms of, are they able to include in their calculation, in the total payroll cost, all the guaranteed payments that they take as partners times the 2.5 to determine what the loan value would be. Do you know?
So I've had that question before, and I'm trying to find if that's in the rule. Christy, did you happen to see that in the rule? And you can send me a chat in our system if you want.
I think I can unmute my. Oh, you're saying Christy, not Chrissy. Sorry.
Actually, let me. let me
Yeah, my staff. Yeah.
yeah, I'll unmute Christy here so she can jump on if she'd like to. And it's not letting me do it. There we
I
go.
think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you
Gotcha.
go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at an email and I didn't hear the whole question. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so the question is, it's a partnership with 5 partners that are taking guaranteed payments as opposed to regular W-2 wages or draws from the company. So they're asking if they would be able to include in their payroll calculation, would they be able to include all the guaranteed payments that they take as partners to determine the value of the loan?
Right. I'm not sure. I know on sole proprietors, they said, well, the way I read it, they could document their salaries through like bank statements or other methods.
It does say that salary, wages, commissions, or similar compensation.
Similar compensation. Okay.
Yeah. So in my mind, that is similar compensation, and you just need documentation of it for the lender.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's another client that has, something weird too. It's an S corp with a W-2, right? So they take a W-2 wages, and in addition, also take some draws. So they, in a situation like that, I'm assuming they should be able to add both, correct?
They should. And so they're going to have yeah, I mean, from what I'm reading and what we are asking the lenders to take as documentation,
Gotcha.
They're going to, if they have no record such as, W-2s or things like that, they're going to have some form of other record to support what that payroll has been.
Got it.
Or that compensation has been.
Okay.
All right, a couple more questions, then we'll need to move on. The EIDL forgivable loan or forgivable grant. I'm a sole proprietor, no employees. Was wondering if I could use the grant for advertising expenses. I got an opportunity to start up, but I don't want to seek funds into anything else at this point. I couldn't find this information specifically in the documents I saw yesterday.
So theoretically, I mean, the answer is yes. Because all we're being told is that it's forgivable and you don't have to take the idle loan. My allergy pill is wearing off. I'm very sorry.
Oh, good.
Chrissy, can you answer this?
I'm thinking it would be, I think it would be eligible. I would agree on the injury loan. You couldn't do that on the PPP though, I don't think.
On the injury loan, you can, and it's because that's a qualified business expense. I mean, that's part of your working capital.
Right, it's an operating expense.
That's right.
So.
All right, cool. Let's see. I thought there was one more question here. All right, cool. Any last thoughts, Sarah? Sarah will try and be on next Friday's call. We've got 2 more Friday calls coming up. So if there's any crazy updates, Sarah, let me know, and I can try and send it out to, I think everybody here is on my mailing list.
Yeah.
And if not, then we'll answer questions next Friday. So thank you, Christy and Sarah. Any final thoughts that you had before?
I think that there's one more question for Sarah before she goes from Brendan.
No.
Did you get that? No?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I saw one from Shelly. Shelly was raising her hand.
Okay.
Well, Brendan, I don't think is supposed to be on this call here. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you said from Shelly?
Yeah. She's waving at us.
Oh, where is she? There she is. You look like a real person. I'll unmute you.
I am. I'm not going to cuss at you, but now I can make my own meme because I've now been in a group that's been hacked, so that's kind of fun. Sorry.
Oh, it was my first experience too.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that you've covered this, but I am so not a business person. I'm in network marketing. We fall under independent contractors, so we wait until next Friday to go at this. And then is it going to be different for us? I don't have any employees, but my funds have been, all that, I'm sure.
So I don't know that it's going to be different or what level of different it's going to be. I'm not real sure why we're waiting a week on that. There's got to be some other rules or ways that we're going to look to calculate your wages or, I would only be guessing. I mean, I've got some guesses about what's going to come and the differences that are going to be for folks such as yourself, on how we're going to calculate that, or what you're losing because you're not working. So I really expect that there's going to be some better language with how to calculate what you need for the next 8 weeks, 2.5 months.
So just be patient, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Hopefully it's coming very soon.
And you said, you said get in touch with you. For those of us that aren't connected with you, what's the best way to do that? I won't bother you every day, I promise. But
the best way really at this point is email. I just saw a thing pop up on my voicemail that it's 98% full, so I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So my email is Sarah, SARAH .Haymaker, HAYMAKER @SBA.gov.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate you being on here. You don't have to do this, but I'm very appreciative.
Happy to help.
You too.
We are all very appreciative. Thanks for taking your time, Sarah. I know you don't have to do this. I know you've got a lot of other things to do, so we appreciate that. And we'll talk to you next Friday.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too.
All right. Cool. Here in a few minutes, we're going to jump on with the gals from Hexcode Design. But first wanted to touch upon something. So I'd mentioned earlier that, a lot of the tough times I've had in my business, the first half, I didn't really have a lot of support. The second half, anytime, I've had a downturn in my business or things shake up in my business, I've had a group of people to lean on. And I want to encourage you guys to find your group, to find your people that you can lean on. There are mentors, there are coaches, there are people you can meet one-on-one, but it's super powerful to be able to meet with a group of people that can help dive into whatever it is you have going on. And it doesn't even have to be negative things. It could be good things that are going on. You may be hiring someone, you may be expanding your business. So there's a lot of great things that can come out of being in a group that can talk through a lot of challenges you have, as well as opportunities that you're wanting to act on, and utilize a group to do that and utilize their experience and things that they've gone through in their business. So there are a few people that are in my mastermind group. I'd just like to, unmute you guys a little bit, and you guys can join in on the conversation. How important do you guys think it is to have a group of people, to have kind of a board of directors to meet with, from a, month-to-month standpoint, or if you meet quarterly? I just want to get your guys' feedback on what you guys have gotten out of being in a group, as well as, how important you think it is. So I'm going to unmute some of the people that have been in those groups, and I'll let them kind of chime in and give their feedback, because I think it's really important, especially in this time right now, to be able to have a group like that.
I think I'm unmuted. Can I go?
Go for it. Chrissy, do it.
I will tell you that I do 2 mastermind groups at the moment. I think masterminds are amazing, especially if you can get into a group where it's very diverse with business knowledge. I am in a group where there's somebody with 20 years experience in owning a business, all the way down to me with 3 years experience. And it is amazing, especially in a time like this, to have the ability to, I'm in Tony's mastermind, talk to Tony, he'll talk about being through a recession like this or changing times. It's fantastic, because I have friends that don't own businesses and they don't have a clue what I'm going through as a business owner. So yeah, it's just been a great experience for me.
Yeah, you touched on a good point. You can talk to your friends and family and all of that, and they can listen to you, but they have no idea what it's like to be a business owner. So
no,
I appreciate your feedback there. Anybody else want to chime in that's part of a mastermind group that would like to kind of give or something like that would like to give feedback on how important that is?
Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy, and Chrissy touched on it, was the diversity. A lot of the times, if we're in an industry and we talk to people in that same industry, we're all thinking inside that box. When you join a mastermind group that's a bunch of different people from different industries, like Tony's groups are, it's enabled us to get feedback that we wouldn't otherwise have. I've been a business owner since I was 15 years old, and quit school at the end of 9th grade. And so the things that I've learned through those years, our past experiences sets us for what we're going to do. And so having this mastermind group that can come in and say, hey, have you ever thought about it like this? Hey, have you thought about that? And that has been invaluable for me. Thank you, Tony.
Awesome. Cool. Eric or Kelsey, you guys want to give some feedback as well?
Sure. Yeah, the mastermind has been tremendous for me because it's amazing. You realize every day how little you really know when you get around people with diverse backgrounds and smart people. And it seems like everybody seems to have a different strength. And those strengths kind of come through and you hear little tidbits along the way. It's just invaluable information that you pick up, and sometimes you don't even realize you're picking it up, and it just happens, and you walk away from that meeting and you go, oh my gosh, I have so many things that I could be doing for my business. Even though they're small, they're still meaningful, and that's, to me, that's the real value.
Yeah, you touched on something really cool. As you know, you come to those meetings with something you want to solve in your business, but then you get to see what everybody else is having problems with, and then you're like, oh, wait a second, I didn't realize I should be doing that too, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of good stuff you get from other businesses, what's working, what's not. Any final thoughts, Kelsey, on what your thoughts on the group are?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would like to just reiterate kind of what you said already is how important it is to encourage people to find their people. And I think right now, everything that everybody is going through is new and crazy, but all of these people who can lend from their different experiences really helps you all come together and navigate through this one thing. But I think even beyond just this one COVID crisis that everybody's going through, that I've seen your group of mastermind people really just empower and lift each other up and solve problems. And I think it's awesome. And I think everybody should have something like that.
Cool. Thanks, Kelsey. So these calls that we're doing are typically, or we're going to be for our community, our Strategic Workspace community. And we decided to open it up to other businesses. And we've just been getting some great feedback, and a lot of you guys are coming back, obviously for a reason. So I want to do the same thing with the masterminds. It is a membership-based mastermind that we run, and a lot of other masterminds are membership-based. But I want to open it up and do a virtual mastermind Thursday of next week. So I'm going to open up 10 spots for you guys to come check it out for free and just see what it's all about. And get, actually, I'm going to put the link in the chat box if you guys want to look at it. It is, application only for the most part. This is a little bit different. If you guys fill out the Zoom link, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily in the group. That means that I'm going to take a look at it and let you know next week if you're approved to be in the group. There could be multiple reasons for not being approved. If the group fills up and you got the form filled out and you're the 11th or 12th, then obviously we'll have to cut it off there. It's also industry specific because there's a lot of things that are shared within businesses that another insurance agent may not want to tell another insurance agent, or a roofer may not want to tell another roofer. So we do allow one person per industry. So if you guys want to check that out, I want to provide that value to you for you to get in front of 9 other business owners and be able to talk about your business and bring your problems and any kind of thing that you want help with. You can bring it to the table. And again, you're going to learn from the other businesses and create some really good connections. So look forward to providing that value to you. All right, last but not least, marketing. I'm just going to say one quick thing on marketing. A lot of people make mistakes of cutting their marketing completely. For some businesses, it makes sense because they can't provide services right now, so they may have to shift their marketing or do something different. But you need to keep your message out there somehow. And so I'm not going to say too much on it because Chrissy and Marisa are the experts in this. They are with Hexcode Design. They've done several websites for me and my businesses. They're in my mastermind group. I've gotten to know them very well. They are very knowledgeable and have actually did our first class at the Strategic Workspace, and we look forward to maybe having some more classes with them. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Chrissy and Marisa. Take it over, guys.
Okay, well, first I had to figure out how to unmute myself. As Tony said, right now what we're seeing and hearing, we're hearing a lot of people say, well, I need to stop marketing. And that's 100% untrue. And I apologize, I have an allergy, asthma voice today. But you don't want to stop marketing. You don't want to cut that at any way, shape, or form. You just need to pivot. Because right now, you're right, you can't, what you were starting to roll out in January, what you had planned in January for your 2020 marketing plan, probably isn't going to work anymore. The world is very different. For instance, we have a couple of clients, they are completely shut right now. They aren't open. They can't bring people in through their doors. But that doesn't mean they stopped marketing. What we did is worked with them on pivoting and keeping their message out there to people and getting people excited about them opening back up, and really just keeping people engaged, because your biggest problem is the worst case scenario. The county is already hinting that this may be longer than April 25th. And if your worst case scenario is that you just stop talking to people altogether over that 30, however many days that we're in this position, they forget about you and they don't come back when everything opens back up. So you want to make sure that you keep marketing and you pivot for what makes sense for your company. Some of our clients are able to provide virtual services just like we are. You know, you can see Chrissy and I are in a different location, much to her chagrin. She really hates that I officially told her she's not allowed in the office. But we're able to still provide services to our clients. So sometimes too, it's working with our clients to go, okay, what can you do? So the first thing is don't cut anything you're doing. You may just need to shift some of those marketing dollars around a little bit and change your message. Right now, my biggest recommendation is that you focus on building trust. You focus on making sure that people have a reason to keep coming to you. You need to showcase your expertise more than ever right now, but you also really need to make sure that people can trust that you're taking their necessary precautions now, because if you don't take this seriously, they're going to wonder what else you don't take seriously later on too.
Yeah, what Marisa's saying there, and one of my favorite quotes, and I use this and somebody keeps bringing it up, is when things are good, you want to advertise. When things are bad, you must advertise, because you have to keep your name out there in front of other people right now. And like she said, we do have a client that is completely shut right now, completely closed. But what's been awesome with them is we had a meeting right before the Sedgwick County stay-at-home order, talked through what we were going to do to keep things going, because when a lot of their competition has decided to just stop marketing at all, cut their marketing completely, close down, hunker down, and do nothing. So while they're hunkered down, we're out in front of people, sending out coloring pages or talking about what they're doing to clean up their facility and keep things moving and keep things going. And it's really going to help them when things open back up, because they've been in front. Think about your marketing touch points, and you need to be seen 10 to 12 times. They're being seen those 10 to 12 times while their competitors are being completely quiet.
Right. And the other thing to kind of keep in mind too is if your business has changed in any way, if you're not in the office, very, very few people, I mean, financial, insurance, lawyers, and accountants, you're about all that's left of the professional world that's supposed to be in an office, right? But I mean, I know lawyers that are working from home right now too. So depending on how you run your operations, make sure you're communicating those changes, because people want to keep working with you. You just need to make sure that they understand exactly what you're doing differently. For restaurants, I mean, same thing. We're working with a couple of restaurant clients on how to best keep their message out there that, you know, that it's still safe to eat out. And thank goodness Wichita is a community where we are very big and supportive on eating out, and we still continue to be so. But you just have to change up what you're doing. And for some of our clients, it's meant shifting from some things that they used to do, and we're moving into email marketing and utilizing their email lists for the first time in a long time, because they didn't want to do that before. We're adding more videos, for instance, into some of our clients too. So for a lot of that, it's got a lot to do. It's just trying to keep on top of things as best as you can and communicate what you're doing as best as you can. And I have even been explaining to people, don't focus on selling right now. And Chrissy and I disagree on this a little bit, but
No.
Mark Schaefer said it best a couple weeks ago. Everybody is experiencing some level of grief at this point in time. Whether their lives have changed, whether they've lost jobs, whether their spouse has lost a job, or they're just really annoyed that they can't go into the office, but they're still just as busy as normal, which is that one over there. She's over there on my screen. But we're all experiencing some kind of grief. So when you're talking and creating your marketing plan, keep that in mind. Nobody's world is the same as it was 3 weeks ago. And some people are legitimately very scared and may have family and friends that are affected by this more than even I am. So,
yeah.
Sorry, a husky may howl here in a second. But keep that in mind and adjust your tone a little bit too. Focus on reassuring, focus on trust, and don't go for the hard sell right now. Go for soft sells.
Yeah, Marisa and I were actually talking a little bit earlier because I hadn't had a chance since I was on this call, but I was on a call with somebody last week maybe, and they're like, Chrissy, can I talk to you about my messaging a little bit? I have a service that's really important right now, and it is really something that people should be looking at. But I went last week and I tried to do a Facebook ad and I said COVID flash sale, and people question my character on this. And so absolutely do not do anything that says COVID flash sale. It's not a hard sell right now. A lot of companies that offer professional services and things like that right now, the best thing to do is educate people.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue to put out videos and different pieces that are educating people, they'll see why they need your service right now and things like that. It's just looking at your marketing and how you're doing it. Your marketing is how you get your message out there. And especially right now, maybe you don't need to be doing billboards because people aren't out driving as much, but people are watching TV and checking their emails and being online. Our email open rates have gone up, more than doubled on some of our accounts and things that we're doing.
And our interaction and engagement on our Facebook accounts and social media that we're managing are completely up as well.
Yeah, so it's just kind of taking a look, and it's just like your business right now, taking a look and seeing maybe how some of those things need to shift or adjust, or what you can.
Right. And back to that education, don't be afraid to give stuff away for free. I have a personal training friend who is literally doing suggestions for at-home workouts every day. She puts together 4 or 5 videos. She's giving away a free at-home workout, but she has gotten more virtual clients off of that because they don't want to have to think for themselves and put that together. Yeah. So she's getting virtual clients through that because she's showcasing giving away something a little bit for free. And I know everybody in here has a little bit different business, and some of you may not be able to do anything, may not be able to operate at all. But the answer is never just completely stop marketing.
Right.
Yeah,
oh, go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to jump in. There's a couple of key things that you guys said. One thing I just want to add is this is the time for you guys to work on yourselves and your message. And, right now the workspace that we have is open. People can technically go in and out, but there's not as many people that want to come in because of the virus. And so we're just putting as much good information out as possible, just educating, helping, doing it, whatever we can to engage with the community, knowing that when we do open up, they'll be more likely to come in and use our space. And then the other thing was, you talked about selling. Don't be afraid to sell, but give way more value and give way more great messages about what you can give them compared to what you sell them on. So I think you kind of mentioned it, Marisa. It's soft sells, subtle sells. It's not getting in their face right now and saying, hey, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Because a lot of people they're in this, shock mode potentially.
Right.
So give them value. And then when they get out of that shock mode, they'll be more likely to come and do business with you.
Well, and not only that, I think right now, if you do that, here's what happens when you're a business owner, because we're not immune to this either. We're able to work from home, but we have very similar problems as everybody else. You know, the first, when you're like, oh crap, I don't know if we're going to make our normal monthly sales quota, your first, you know, initial reaction is we want to do buy. We want to do sales. We want to do something to drum up those sales. But what ends up happening is that either you get the instance like Chrissy talked about, and you just turn your customer base off completely, or you bulk sell and then you don't have any sales for a few days because you're not focusing on steady growth. So like Tony said, giving away that value and even kind of packaging some things together. Think about something that you can give away for free in order to get an email address. You know, doing giveaways on Facebook, for instance, are a great way to get more followers and get people to share and engage without really having to give away much of anything. For one of our clients, we're giving away a birthday party package. We don't know when you can redeem it, but people are still excited about it. Another thing to keep in mind, and like Luke said over here in the chat, how they're doing short how-to videos on YouTube and social media on the best way to maintain their vehicles. That's a fantastic idea, because all you're doing is you're giving people a way to feel like you care. My friend that's a trainer, she has like so many videos out there. Have I done one of the workouts? No, but I feel like she cares and she wants to keep me healthy even if I'm slacking. So, and even something, for instance, one of our automobile repair clients, they're able to operate. They're an essential business. Nothing has changed for them. But in order to build that trust with their clients, they've rearranged the sitting room. They have, so that the chairs are 6 feet apart. They're sterilizing and wiping down everything that their mechanics touch in your vehicles. They're even doing pickup and drop-offs because they understand people are scared right now. And all we're doing is promoting that through social media. And they're getting a lot of engagement. So keep that in mind too. If you've changed even slightly, let people know how you've changed too. And you build that trust that you're taking everything seriously and that you care about them as a customer, because people really only care about how you help them. They don't really care what you do. They just want to know that you solve their problem.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things to think through right now, I know Tony and I have been in a couple of calls lately, and we talked about doing some of those flash sales. Number one, you can do a flash sale, that's fine, but don't put COVID-19 on it or coronavirus or anything like that. But when you're thinking through and doing some of those sales and things like that, just make sure that you do not devalue your product. The worst thing you could do right now is continue to push and keep the price low on your product through all of this just to try to get those sales. And then when you come back and you raise your price again and when things are doing good, you're going to have people not trust it because they're like, well, I could buy it for this price. Why do I want to pay 3 times that when things are good? So just be careful about that and not devaluing your product or service. Sorry.
Right. And right now, I mean, you have to think about too, something else that everybody has to think about is where customers are spending their time right now. If you are a physical location or you're used to doing a lot more physical advertising, people aren't going out and picking up the splurge this month necessarily. I don't even know if there is going to be a splurge this month. People aren't going out, like Chrissy said, they shouldn't be out driving. I've been going to the office a couple times a week just to check on mail and stuff. They're still driving. But, you know, there's supposed to be a lot of us that are at home and not really going out. I didn't drive for 4 days. It was very strange. And so when you think about it that way, where are people spending their time now? A lot of people have shifted their focus to social media. So if you've ever wanted to try changing up your social game, this is also the perfect time to do that because A, people are a lot more likely to be engaged, and B, people are going to be a lot more forgiving and they want content that's entertaining to them, something that's really shareable. So kind of think about it that way. And if you're one of those companies that wants to try to do something fun with TikTok, that's blowing up my feed right now too. So if you want to, you know, spend some time, try something new with your marketing, try a different message, because like Tony said, this is the perfect time for us to kind of all take a step back and adjust and go, okay, what are our processes? So why not do that same thing with your marketing?
Sam, I love it. Yeah. Frugal Friday and thinking through what people are going through right now. That is fantastic. And I love that you're getting good feedback and providing that value.
I've got a question.
Yes, Aaron, go
Oh,
ahead.
by the way, real quick, I unmuted Ed because he had a question. If anybody else has a question, Kelsey, if you could look for hands, you just raise them up and I'll unmute you guys.
So one of the things that corporate came out with us this morning is normally a sign up for Trade Bank is $495 for a lifetime membership. What they're doing is they've suggested we offer it for a $50 sign up and defer the $445 to down the road. I mean, how does that fit with your not wanting to devalue the brand? I mean, I think it's a great opportunity, but I don't want to take that misstep if you guys are not about it.
Well, and I don't think that devalues the brand because you're still paying the full price. So where they've done that a little differently is eventually you have to pay the full price. It's kind of like a lot of landlords right now. They're deferring rent, but eventually they're going to want your rent money. So that's a great way for people, because I know, like for Ed, for you, is getting people to get some of that sales, or even for some of those people who have supply that they just need to utilize. That's a great way for them to get fed into your system. But the only thing I would say is start with the full price. And then, if they say, well, right now it's just kind of crazy, then you can offer the deferral. And that's kind of up to you. And you'd know by the person too, who you're talking to, whether or not to do that.
And Ed, the good thing there is they're still showing that they care by saying, hey, you can do it for this and we're deferring it down the line, but saying, hey, our product is good, so we can't give you a cut rate necessarily because our product's so good and we believe in our product, but we'll defer it down the line because we're a company that cares about what's going on right now. So that's kind of the messaging that it's putting out with that.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anybody else have any questions? I know, Sam, I was going to say as well, and for anybody else that's kind of worried about putting out videos and stuff like that, don't worry about doing that, because the amount of free stuff, which is really right now just your time and information that you give away now, you're building up a rapport with people who maybe never would have found you before, and you're creating loyalty. So, and that's invaluable, because those kinds of customers are the ones who refer you over and over and over again.
And what's beautiful about this is that people are having to get way smarter with their marketing.
Yes. Yeah. Very creative.
Yeah. I mean, like we hosted our first event, and we had a certain amount of people there, and we had a lot of signups, and we had this many people show up, and we've had to go virtual. And now we still have a lot of people sign up, but a lot more people are coming on, and we haven't had to spend really any money on marketing. So it's helped us to save a lot of money in marketing and be smarter with the dollars we're spending, and figure out how to engage that audience without spending a lot of money.
Right.
So I'm going to unmute. Actually, Greg's already unmuted. Greg, did you have a question?
No, it's more of a kind of a statement thing that I put out on my Facebook page, I don't know, about a week ago, that if there was a business that was still like kind of what she talked about, the automotive business that's still going, and they're just kind of change things, that I would willing to do just kind of a brief little 30-second or whatever it takes video free for them, just to kind of, they could put on their Facebook or anything. So if you know of any businesses or anything like that, you can send them my way, or if you guys need some other stuff, I mean, I'm always willing to try and help people out. I know this is a really hard time for everybody, and whatever I can do for help with video stuff, or if there's one place that's doing a bunch of things with like restaurants and things about updating and things like that, and those are the things too. I can do those, and I can do those Facebook Live. I can a whole bunch of different ways I can do things.
Very cool.
All right. You guys have anything else, Carissa? Carissa. you're now Carissa.
Combine them together.
Yeah. Marisa or Chrissy?
Yeah. So what I will say is one of the things that I brought up earlier, the guy that did the COVID flash sale, after our talk, he went into doing more of those educational videos and has been getting some really good feedback and engagement when you do get that good feedback and engagement, make sure, especially right now, that you're engaging back and forth with the people that engage with you. The other thing is that if anybody wants to reach out and talk to us, I'm going to put in, Marisa just recently put out a blog about creating, it was the blog about setting a marketing budget and the channels that you should use. I'm going to put a link to that blog. Within that blog, there is a link to schedule a digital marketing consultation call with us, because one thing I do want to say is be careful with your digital marketing. I know that Eric and I talked about this the other day with Facebook ads and stuff like that. Do some research on that if you're doing it, or have somebody else that knows what they're doing do it for you, because you could really mess some things up with that if you don't know what's going on. There is plenty out there, but we have free digital marketing consultation calls going on for us right now too. So if anybody wants to reach out to us, have us take a look at your budget or your digital marketing, where you might want to shift, you can definitely reach out to us with that.
Awesome. What other questions you guys have? Shoot some tough questions over. Or if you guys want to raise your hand and say, hey, here's what I'm doing, and give some things to the group, we'd love to hear some other suggestions from you guys. All right, Luke, I'm going to unmute you. All right, cool, Luke. What's up, man?
Yeah, Tony. So I just wanted to put the disclaimer out there or whatnot, but in our industry, there's a lot of quote unquote YouTube certified auto detailers. And it's really concerning me because a lot of them are saying, you know, contact us for your $50 COVID-19 removal detail, things like that. And it's really raising alarms for us because that's extremely false advertisement. It's lying, and it gets up for lawsuits and could be deadly, honestly. And I've been in contact with a lot of military doctors, a lot of CDC people directly, professionals in my realm, and who are part of like National Guard type level front lines, helping people who are getting sick and everything. There is no cure for it right now that will kill it. You can remove it, you can wipe it off, but you cannot kill it, especially on surfaces like a vehicle. So if anybody tells you that, or you get contacted by somebody, they're not telling you the truth. I just kind of feel like I'm morally obligated to let people know as I talk to them and come across everybody. So just make sure that whoever you're talking to, as far as your vehicle goes, that either they know what they're talking about or that they're not lying. If there's any questions or you're unsure, contact me, let me know, and I'm happy to answer any questions on that front.
And Luke, you raise a really good point, actually, just with marketing in general, being really careful about making affirmative or declarative statements that are, you know, definitive. Never tell somebody that you can get rid of anything, but say you can help or aid or, you know, things like that, because once you put something like that in writing, people can come back and sue you if that's not true. And even then, I mean, it removes a lot of the trust. And like, I mean, that's a good point just in general, to look at the way people are talking too now. And if they're trying to make anything really definitive statement of a disease that nobody understands yet really fully, then you can probably not trust them. And so even with your marketing and making sure that you don't tell somebody that you're going to 100% fix that problem, but you're going to help them with that. And that also makes it feel more like a partnership, and puts you guys in the same boat too. So that raised a really good point for me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's about, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Luke, I have a question on that. Are you putting that kind of messaging out at all, where I know that it seems like it might be a little detrimental if you're doing car detailing, but at the same time, building that trust with your clients and reminding them that even though you're keeping their car clean and things like that, that they still need to wash their hands when they get home and clean and stuff like that.
Right. So yeah, we've been putting out a lot of verbiage on our website and social media and emails and text messages, just Well, letting them know why we're approaching it the way that we are, and I mean we're losing money because technically the government considers us essential, but the fact that we don't have medical grade PPE, I mean, it caught us unprepared for something that we didn't expect to have ever happen. So we had no clue we needed medical grade PPE. I had latex gloves and goggles and glasses and whatnot, but no N95 mask or anything. So yeah, it's about building that trust there, and that's why we want to do those videos. I kind of said to give a breakdown on that and why we're doing what we're doing, and but I guess essentially kind of if we were to clean a vehicle or detail a vehicle, and then a customer gets in it, as soon as they get back into it, technically it's contaminated again immediately. Yes, whether it's just from general germs or COVID-19, whatever it might be. So even if we were able to have some kind of spray or something that killed it, if it was there beforehand, the customer had it on them, and then it's back in there again. But yeah, we don't make any promises ever to say that we can remove something like that. So we're very, very careful. And if there, like I said, there are people that are promising that, why is it that they still have that material? They should be out of stock because their customers should be overloading them with requests like, my vehicle, my sister's vehicle, my wife's vehicle, all these need to be clean, and they should be out of stock almost all the time.
Yeah.
So, and that may go for home cleaning and boat cleanings, RV cleanings, whatever it might be. So that should raise a huge red flag, because if they are able to provide the material, then obviously they're not able to do what they're saying.
Yeah, I think the best way that you're going to be able to kind of combat that is build your trust with your audience. And I think your videos that you're talking about doing are such a great idea to continue to push that messaging and continue to build on your end.
Sure, and not all of our videos are going to be just vehicle focused. They're going to be in general focused too. So most of them will be vehicle focused. So feel free to check them out and everything, and share them to friends and family too. I mean, we don't get monetized by YouTube for doing it, so at least not yet. But
cool. Thanks for the feedback, Luke. Pat, you had a question?
Hey, yeah, I kind of wanted your general thought on our new strategy that we're working on. Is contractors are still extremely busy and doing a lot of remodeling, and so we have LinkedIn Premium, making a connection and then sending a follow-up video like introducing ourselves, kind of just saying like, this is who we are, this is what we do, and we'd like to partner with you. Just kind of wanted your your just kind of general feedback on LinkedIn marketing.
Chrissy, that one's more you.
That's more me.
Yeah.
So I actually talked about this in a phone call yesterday, how LinkedIn is, in Wichita especially, just a little behind. LinkedIn is slow to update on a lot of things. Generally, they kind of try to catch up, but we would love for LinkedIn to be a wonderful professional place, but I have seen people in there people just utilize it more as a resume place where they set their resume sometimes, sadly. I do think doing the videos as kind of a professional approach is good. When you do those videos, how personalized are they, or are they just a set video that you send to everyone?
Yeah, it's just going to be a set video. It's like 32 seconds, just like it's actually the owner that's just saying who we are, what we do, and how pretty much just like what role does flooring play in your business, and then that's just like an open-ended thing.
Right. Well, when you send those, what I would do, especially right now, is to make sure that you have a very personalized message with it as well. It's great that you have a video of the owner that you're sending out, but I want to feel like you actually care about me And so when you're reaching out to me, I would definitely make sure your written message is very personalized with that. And it doesn't feel canned with the video.
Right. And my number one suggestion for anybody who's doing any kind of thing on LinkedIn, especially sending in mail and stuff like that, make sure you actually go look at their profile, pull a couple things off to personalize. I hate when I get in mail and people don't know that I'm a business owner. They think I need help with marketing, you know, things like that. So just those, even just those really simple, it takes an extra 2 minutes of your time, make that message way more effective.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really tired of people contacting me because I'm a bank when everything talks about a barter exchange. I'm just, yeah, I can loan you $1 million. Sure, no problem. Just send me an application fee, $5,000.
It's all that money you got under your bed, Ed.
That's right. If the Nigerians can do it, why can't the Australians? You know, I'm just.
Yep, it's your accent.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. So yeah, does anybody else have any questions with their messaging or anything like that? I mean, we'd love to talk through it. And even with this kind of a group of people, it's always good to have some feedback.
Well, I do have a question about 316 networking. I think a lot of you are on it. If I wanted to post little videos as the founder of that, where do you think that tipping point is between helpful and too much?
When people stop engaging, that's when you've crossed the line, honestly. I mean, it's funny because I have people ask us that all the time. Should I only post on Facebook once per day or twice per day? Is there magic? No, the number really is as soon as people stop engaging, stop doing that, or whatever it is you're doing, or back off a little bit.
Well, I don't know if it's as much the quantity yet. It's more the quality and what you're providing, right?
Sure.
All right, cool. Let me unmute you there, bud. All right, there you go.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, no, this was great content, and hopefully I'll be able to set up just a marketing campaign, my digital campaign. I think that's where I'm lacking. I had a rough start, as I don't know, sure many of you guys from the Wichita area know, as Splash came out last year, it was the 14 inches of rain, biblical rains, and now we've got this situation. But I thought being there consistently and my message and being in front of the camera did help me. But now I'm not getting the engagement, and I'm not a marketer by trade, but I love being in front of a camera. I love talking. I love kind of telling my story, or our story, I will, because I bring everybody into the fold that works with us. And so it's kind of something's stagnant. Something's not happening. And I was just thinking while you guys were talking, you know, contesting and all that good stuff. But with everybody online, I would think that this is the time. But I've also heard, and this is my question, I'm sorry it's been long-winded, but do I need to build up my audience to being receptive to 15 to 30 second messages? Or if I'm not hitting the mark and I'm not getting the engagement, then do I need to reevaluate and go a different direction?
Explain your business real quick, Cole. What do you do again?
I'm sorry, it's Splash Aqua Park. It's an inflatable water park in Southwest Wichita. It's in the Gander Outdoors camping, or the Gander Outdoors parking lot there, right at the lake at 235 in Seneca, South Seneca. So we're much like a trampoline park. So think of a floating obstacle course in a sand pit.
Yeah, Cole, actually right now you have an awesome opportunity with your target market, because your target market is going to be some of those moms and kids, teenagers that are all home right now. And bored. So one of our clients is actually very similar to your industry. And what we're doing right now is we've created coloring pages, some contests, some awesome fun videos that are getting some great engagement on them right now. We got the owners out kind of engaging in the park before the shutdown happened, and things like that. You have an awesome opportunity because your market right now is home and bored. And so getting some of those videos that are going to be more fun and entertaining for them is fantastic, because your market with the teenagers to college kids they love YouTube. So kind of focusing in on some of what the things that they love and are doing is going to be great for you right now. And then focusing in on those moms. And I don't know if you guys do birthday parties or things like that. But yeah, so focusing in on some of those areas and what they're looking at and doing right now to engage with them and entertain them is going to be fantastic. When you were doing your videos before, what were your videos of?
Typically I get, I kind of went dark in October just because I didn't know what was going to happen and reopening and all that stuff. But now I've held tight going back into producing videos, and typically it was just me in front of the camera talking on Facebook Lives, Facebook Media, linking those to my Instagram. But now I was just thinking while you guys were talking, maybe just doing a contest, share your best splash 2019 to memory or video or picture to win a family day pass or a family package or something along those lines.
Right. And you can, don't be afraid if you have content that any employees or that you yourself gathered last year, people at the splash park, because I'm going to be honest, people don't really, when they think about your business, they probably don't necessarily want to see you talking. They, like Kelsey put in there, they want to see people doing fun stuff and even potentially wiping out
right
on the splash park. So focus on that kind of stuff. I know, and Pat, yeah, TikTok is a great platform for you guys actually, because you can edit those together really quickly. You can make those 15 to 30 second videos. They're shareable on Facebook because that's half my Facebook feed right now. So I know that's possible. And you can take that and do some more. I would encourage you to go read the comments if you haven't already. There's some fun ideas in there. But focus on any videos if you have of people playing at the park last year and get people excited again. I know you guys also had some bad publicity last year with the size of the park. And so try to get those close-up shots to show and get people a really good idea, because not everybody got a chance to discover you last year because we had really terrible weather for the first couple months. So kind of look at this as a time to reintroduce people to you guys too and get them excited all over again that you guys are there and back. You don't even really have to focus on the fact that you opened last year as much as getting them to learn who you guys are by showcasing some of the footage that hopefully you guys got last year. Do you know when you're going to be able to get up there and set things up?
I can go, I've got freight coming in April 20th. So I plan on putting in the park mid-May, and then was hoping to open in Memorial Day, but obviously that's all up in the air. Nobody knows when we'll be able to gather.
Please.
One thing to think about too is that when we do all kinds, cleanliness is still going to be a factor for everybody's business. So even talking about some of the things that you do on the cleanliness side of taking care of everything and stuff like that is still going to be good as things continue to move forward.
Okay.
Right. And I mean, just kind of thinking about who you have time now to think about what those procedures might be for yourself, like for you guys. So take that time now to think through, okay, so if we open it back up in May, because hopefully we're a little bit more back to normal. But then also think about the fact that I had a friend this morning, her kids are literally climbing the walls of their house now.
Yeah.
Literally. So when you think about that too, think about the excitement that you can build for people to come in. And even like Tanganyika did, pre-sell season passes to generate some of that revenue, because we're hoping that we're going to have a normal summer season.
And we did try that. I did a small little video about it. We're extending our season pass sale, our pre-season sale through April. And I was like, oh, I'm quarantined. I'm climbing the walls. I'm crazy enough to jump into 50-degree weather. I'm going to go make a splash, and hopefully you guys can too soon enough, or something like those lines. And I think 2,000 views, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's missing something. 2,000 views might sound like a lot, but I need 20,000 views, and I don't know.
Is 2,000 views organic?
Yeah.
It's a lot of views. I wouldn't
Organically.
I wouldn't downplay those views. And And I'm looking at your I'm looking at your website, and you got a cool little video there. I mean, people jumping and having fun. I mean, I think you can create a lot of cool videos with that and build anticipation, because people are cooped up right now wanting to be out in a park like that, you know?
Well, and Cole, do you have kids?
I do.
Yeah. And even nieces and nephews, maybe a contest that you do is an obstacle course contest. I watched a little boy the other day do this obstacle course. They put blue painter's tape down.
Yeah.
And this little boy climbed up on his coffee table and did jumping from couch cushions and things like that. Maybe you do a contest like that where you have people submit their videos of their obstacle course to win a season pass.
Right.
Make it something that's worth making the video, and then you make that fun engagement for everybody else. Because yeah, you have an awesome place, and the thing is, people are going stir crazy right now, and they want out and about. And when they get out and about, they're going to want to do fun things like yours. So getting out in front of them right now and continuing to make yourself top of mind is fantastic.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll reach out.
Hey, Cole.
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
Hey, so you gave me an idea, something that you could do. I think we could actually work really well together. As far as like when your customers eventually start coming back, I could offer coming out there and detailing their vehicle while they're spending time at your park, and then that could be like an additional bonus, because they'll spend what do you say? They spend 2 hours there, 3 hours there, something like that.
I mean, typical person's going to spend anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours.
Yeah, that's the length of detailing an average size vehicle for me. So they get there in a dirty vehicle, they have fun, they leave in a clean vehicle, and it's all positive experience for them. And that's just
Absolutely, man. I'm always willing to enhance the experience there and to work with local businesses. So if just DM me and we'll connect for sure.
Okay, absolutely.
Thanks.
Very nice. Cool. Thanks for sharing, Cole. Carissa, if you guys have a few more moments, we'll see if anybody has any other questions or just want to share anything else they're doing.
Okay.
Sam Schaefer, I'll unmute you here. There you go. Hey, Sam.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. So, yeah, I think it was Ed was talking about people like in the financial services space reaching out and being like, click here, buy this. And that is actually, even though I'm in the financial services industry, it is the stereotype that we're all used to see. And I even got one the other day, and that just goes back to what y'all were saying about they weren't even looking at my profile whenever they were reaching out to me. And so that's why I started doing the Frugal Fridays. With Holly, I'm a single mom with 3 kids, so I practice what I preach on the financial services side, but then the realness of it behind my video, you see like a kid's playhouse, and you might see a half naked toddler run behind me. Like, it's just and I want to humanize what I do for not only my clients, but just the general public, how they see the industry. But I'm also kicking around the idea of doing a budget boot camp. Again, it doesn't bring me any income, but I want to provide value, because a lot of the folks that do reach out to me, they don't really need anything from me right now in the way of maybe an insurance or retirement savings, because they have so much debt. I have to wade through that with them in a way that I'm just providing value, but I'm not getting anything. So how do you guys balance that, doing projects to provide value, but then also knowing, oh, I have to bring the rest of you guys, because I'm backed by, but it's just me at the end of the day.
Right. Is there a reason you can't charge a nominal fee for the budget boot camp?
Yes, because of just the regulations in the financial industry. Yeah, you have to be licensed to do certain things and to charge certain things. And so my company pays me if I solve a problem, if there is some sort of money exchange. But when it's something like that, I would have to be what was called a registered representative, and I would have to be licensed with the state to provide a fee-based service.
So Sam, what I would say is be careful on doing too much. You know, you are in business to make money, and so the thing is, you need to balance out what's going to be great for you on the side of putting your name out there and people seeing and relating to you. I will tell you, I grew up with not very much money. So my first financial advisor, when I met her and she talked to me about how she really looks at things and budgets and things like that and all your debt and any kind of stuff like that, and talked to me about how she's a single mom and went through these different things, I related to her really well on that, because I was a single mom at one point, and have worked my way up to where I am today. And that's just proof too that so many people can, and that's so great that yes, you wade through that debt part with them to build them up to where they become those paying clients that really build trust and work with you. I think it's great that you're building trust, but like I said earlier, don't devalue your services too much by giving too much away.
Right.
So giving away and seeing that engagement in those certain things, maybe right now you do the Frugal Fridays, and then here in a little bit you open up the Budget Boot Camp, but pull back on the Frugal Fridays because you're losing engagement on those or something like that. It can be something that, okay, everybody loves these Frugal Fridays, I'm going to change over to Budget Boot Camp for a little bit. Maybe Budget Boot Camp doesn't get the same engagement, and then you bring back Frugal Fridays. But just don't overwhelm yourself with too much of the free content, because you do still have to make money as a business to be around.
Right. Yeah. I help other people make money. I mean, kind of similar to what you all do, just in a different space.
Yeah. Yeah. So was that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a sponge. I hear all, I accept all, I manifest it all, whatever is coming my way.
Yeah. Right. So it's great. It's great to do the free content and get that engagement, but you have to remember how much you can do and how much capacity you have, which I am somebody that has a hard time with that. But I should mute Marisa right now. But
I'll do it for
you. Hey, really making sure that you do what you can do and not overwhelm yourself. It's just like we tell people with marketing when they're doing marketing in social media, like how many social media platforms are out there? You need to do what you can and what's going to be beneficial to your audience, so that you're providing the most value to your people, which then provides value back to you.
Absolutely.
All right, sweet. I'll leave the last word, comment, or question to Miss Kelsey Parker. You're up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Okay, good. So I just kind of wanted to come from a place of helping you as small businesses be able to build that trust with your consumers. Since I work for a nonprofit, there's the nonprofit realm can really help you all when it comes to how do we build trust, or how do we get how do we maximize, if we're going to give something free away, how do we maximize that for our PR moments that we're putting out into the community? So, there's been studies in the past that talk about like 30% of consumers surveyed will shift the brand that they are using if a different brand, even if it's more expensive, is supporting a cause that they care about. And so at this moment, how can you use your platform to benefit that community and show that you're doing your part in the community? So is that, whatever cause you care about, or are you able to use your platform to say, hey, I know my consumers are maybe worried about putting food on the table right now. How can I market for my business supporting the food bank in this moment, and give that food bank an opportunity to get their message out, but then you're showing your consumers how you care about that community? Can you say, for a company that's doing oil changes, if you show me a receipt that you donated $50 to the food bank, you get a free oil change, or something in those realms that help you build that trust, and with your consumers, bring in new consumers that are trying to support those, sorry, my cat's in my face. I know, so I work for Girl Scouts right now as their fund development director. And one of the things that we're doing right now is we're we're helping first responders by donating our cookies to hospital workers and police officers, fire, EMS. We're trying to be out in that community and donate those things if people donate to us. So on our website, they're called Cookies for Courage. You as a business could go and donate 2 boxes or 2 cases or whatever. Use that on your marketing platform about how you're supporting, and you get a 2-for. You're supporting women's leadership, the future of people who are coming up in the community, and you're supporting first responders in the middle of this crisis. So trying to pivot and use your marketing dollars a little bit differently to show and build trust with your consumers.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a fantastic point. I will tell you, one of the things I was talking about earlier, which was my COVID flash sale person. After we had the conversation, he put out educational videos and has been building his engagement that way. So the other day he said that he would offer his services for free to people on the front lines, healthcare workers and things like that. And it automatically rebuilt that reputation that he had hurt with his COVID flash sale.
Amy has a good point there, and that was something I was going to bring up. The hard part with nonprofits is you have, I wouldn't call it bragging, I would call it opportunistic. As a company donating services, donating time, whatever you're doing, how do you, that fine line of looking like you're taking advantage of a situation, especially right now, or in donating just for the publicity. And a lot of that is just really in how you write that message. If it's something as simple as, you know, we already have a relationship with this nonprofit, or, you know, this is really dear to our hearts because of X, Y, and Z, or these employees in our business really like working with this nonprofit. Finding a reason that you guys are connected to it and within the company. So don't just pick anybody. And then share a way for somebody else to donate too. Hey, if you would like to donate, then it becomes a way of you're sharing the goodwill and you're trying to build on that, and you're building trust that way without coming across as, hey, I see this advantageous situation for me, and we're doing what we want to do. I mean, even if it's as simple as the Humane Society right now has a lot of their animals out to foster homes. And if you have anybody in your company who took in one of those fosters, I mean, something simple like that, and showcasing that. We work with a couple of nonprofits ourselves on a regular basis throughout the year, so that's probably who we would highlight right now, and how we help them. But that's just the way to do it. Make sure you have an emotional connection and reason to work with that nonprofit, and then I think that usually tends to help prevent what Amy's talking about.
Yeah, or, you know, I think too, it's a moment of there's opportunities for education. So if you want to help your consumers or people who are on your email list, say, listen, here's a connection to a resource, you know, United Way's 211. Just simple things like that to say, reaching out to your consumer base and saying, I care about you as an individual, not just as the consumer. And I know everybody in this community is going through a moment right now. Here's some resources and how we play, or, you know, just simple moments like that that help you build that trust with your consumer base. And these are things that people are going to remember after and say, they reached out, or they did this in the community and they really supported, and we knew about it. They're going to come back.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback, Kelsey. That's awesome. By the way, we're having a call Monday with nonprofits. We got a request. I think it was Kelsey that requested that we do a call like this for nonprofits. So we've got at least a handful of nonprofits that are going to be on a call Monday. If you guys have any connections to nonprofits that would value from this, from the call, just, it's kind of like a, you know, group of nonprofits getting together to saying, hey, what's going on here with each nonprofit and how to work together and still continue to get the donations that need to stay in business. Connect us with those people. And then if there's any nonprofits that you want to connect with also for your cause or for your business, shoot Kelsey Shackelford or I an email, and we'll try and connect you with one of those nonprofits that'll be on the call Monday. But no, that's some great stuff, because, you know, there's some great companies like what's the shoe company? Is it Zappos that if you buy, or Tom's, if you buy a shoe, you donate a shoe?
Yeah, Tom's usually does that.
Yeah. So, anytime you can integrate your message with a cause, that's awesome. So thanks for the input, Kelsey.
Thanks for coming on, Kelsey.
All right. One more question, Mr. Eric Fonestock. I'll let you wrap it up.
Thanks, Tony. I just wanted to say kind of here at the end, I don't know all the people that are on the call, but I want to give everybody encouragement in these days, because it's a world that nobody's ever lived in before. And so while you can bang your head against the wall trying to do everything perfectly, just know that you won't. And barring something extremely silly and stupid, you're not going to do anything wrong. So I just want to give everybody encouragement and hope in this time, because it's a crazy time. I haven't lowered my marketing at all. In fact, I've extended my reach through social media and things like I never have before, and I'm still doing all the other things. And normally this time of year, I'd have somewhere around 100 cleaning jobs on the board, carpet and tile and furniture. And this week we've got 46. And each week in the last 3 weeks ago, we did 86. And so as this thing progresses, it just gets tougher. And I don't think it's anything I'm doing, because I'm only doing what I've always done and then some. So it's not that I'm not out in front of people. It's not that I'm not doing everything I can to engage people. We have a carpet sanitizer product that is amazing, especially to get healthy carpets and stuff. And I'm giving it away for free to most people. So, and I'm still not getting, tons and tons of jobs. I'm getting some, and I'm getting, inquiries, but I'm just not getting a ton of work. So I want people to know everything you do now is really an investment for what could come down the road, because eventually this thing is going to subside, and, or as they say, the curve is going to start to flatten at some point. And when that does, people are going to be ready to pounce on products and services that they've been privy to during this whole time. And that's really what this is all about. So everything you do is good. Just be positive and hopeful. And, I just want to give everybody encouragement and hope, because I know this is really challenging for everybody. And my bank lender's getting with me this afternoon to explain what she's learned today as far as when things can really roll out. And my form is already filled out, ready to go. She may need to tweak my numbers or whatever, but it's ready to go. And that's all we can do. I try to tell myself every day, all I can do is my best. And some days that's really crappy, and some days it's really good. So you just do your best every day. And so anyway, for what that's worth, I hope that helps. And God bless y'all.
No, good stuff, Eric. You kind of took the words out of my mouth. That's kind of what I was going to end with, was a little encouragement. That's what this is all about, coming together. And appreciate you guys being on the call. I think half of you guys stayed until the very end, and even way past. You guys are overachievers. So thanks again, Carissa, for sharing your knowledge and giving to the community. They've been doing a lot of stuff like this for the communities that I haven't put together. So we appreciate that. We look forward to the next call. Invite any other business owners that could use this. We are building this group continuously every week. We're going to do it for a couple more weeks and then see how we want to roll from there. So again, just hang in there. If there's anything that we can do for you guys, reach out, and we will see you next week. So have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Tony.
See ya.
Hey, Tony, you got a sec?
Let's talk offline. Ed, I'll call you here in a minute.
Okay, no worries.